Well, hello. How is everybody doing today? It's Jim. If you're joining me for the first time, or if you're here again to see me, welcome to Harry and my cryptic thoughts. Pretty excited about this. My passion I have. It's just starting off new. If you know anybody that enjoys stories and a little bit about breaking stuff down, hey man, let them know. Learn how to do all this stuff. I had a technical glitch, and all my subscribers that subscribed before were deleted. So, I'm just saying, if you have me watching it, you go to the Bigfoot, and hit that. If you subscribed before, may not now. So if you could do it for me, hey, I'd appreciate it, man. But other than that, man, welcome to the show. I'm excited for past decades. I've been telling you, this is my third show. We'll break down Expedition Bigfoot that happened, and then we'll talk about a couple of states this week. I was thinking about. It's pretty exciting, man. One thing I want to say is remember, when you hear what I talk about, it's different from hearing it, thinking it. Okay, cool. I want you to visualize that. This is the most important part of everything here. Remember, walls, 8 foot. That window, I measured that window, so I got my fingers. It is 5 foot. So give us a good ballpark. Kind of rearrange things. I was like, okay, we need some background. So let's see how this goes. I always like starting off with a couple stories that have come to me and I've heard before, and let's see. There's one, it was a scout, Northern California. Now, scout for the timber company, once again. You go out to survey the land, check it out, let them know what they're going to be dealing with. The guy said it was thick, crawling through stuff, really, really thick. Some of you literally had to get down on the ground and crawl through. And he said they had gotten down and climbed through an opening, and they popped up, and I was like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he says, well, they came across, I think it was like five nests, and he's like, they're like bird nests. They were woven together. And he said the size, remember, don't think, visualize. They were 10 foot by 7 foot. Now, okay, here we go. 10 foot. Now this window is 5 foot. 5 foot. Add a foot on each side of that. That's what's fun about this, thinking about that. But anywho, so they're like, what the heck? So they got back. They went to tell the owner of the land and the boss what had happened. It was like a few days later, he said. All of a sudden, DNR came in, or some branch of the government came in and shut them down and bought the land back from them and became federally protected. And they would never talk about it again. Okay, so, then you think, okay, here's two things. This is Jimbo's mind. Dude. Remember dude. Boy, they buy that and protect them? They buy it to study? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of stories about cloaking and stuff. We'll get into that on down the line. Manipulating their fur. There's some stories. It's possible. I mean, they said it could happen, But anywho, that's that one, And like I said, that was surprising. I was like, oh. And there's another one, like a retired Air Force guy had told a story about they were on a military exercise at the Olympic Peninsula. Now, the Olympic Peninsula, in Washington, the state goes up. See, so weird opposite. The state goes up, and there's this little side over here that goes on this. That's the Olympic Peninsula. I went there many times. I lived in Washington. That's part of my stories I have. Because I've seen some stuff. I've seen some starships before. They're pretty cool. But this is back in the 90s. We'll get to that down the road. But anyway, he was saying, the commander was telling him, he's like, well, okay, I don't know how you feel about Sasquatch or Bigfoot, but they are real. And the guys were like, what? What are you talking about? Well, just letting you know, when you're out on your exercises, if you see one, go about your own business and do not interact and do not bother them. You're kidding, right? They thought this is a joke. It's like, no, I'm not kidding. I'm letting you know. We had one group that went out that did, and it didn't end well. And they asked them, they're like, what do you mean it didn't end well? It didn't end well. So we're letting you know. Do not confront them and leave them alone. So I was like, ooh. And I mean, that goes back to the government, no? Okay. I love Casper, paranormal stuff. I love ET too, UAPs and stuff. But this is Harry. We'll do that during the week. But that's just like saying, oh, no, Area 51's not there. No, you don't see that. So what's going to happen? 10 years, going to say, oh, yeah. I'm just telling you. I'm excited. I mean, come on. I get some other stories, too. But what I'm going to do, this is a true story. Share something with you guys. Maybe during the week I'll put some shorts out and whatnot. But, I mean, that's fascinating to think about. From the going to get that land, buying the land back, to where it's federally protected now. Federally protected. You know, that's, I mean, I don't know. It makes you, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, this is exciting. I mean, I got that tribe therapy, that theory. You know, I believe that Harry runs tribes like the Native Americans. You know, and that's another thing. Before we start breaking down Expedition Bigfoot, you know, I hear stories about, you know, I told about the Native American stories where they would join them. And I started thinking about this. I was like, huh. You know, I think one of the reasons for that is the respect they have for the land. Native Americans never took from the land unless they needed it, and they also showed tribute in regards to the land given what they did for them. That's just how I find that admirable. I find that just freaking awesome, because I think that's what's happened. We've forgotten about that. So I just tried to think. I was like, well, maybe. I mean, come on, guys. We all realize that Harry's smart, straight up. Harry's seen. He's watched from the woods. They've been here, y'all, I'm telling you, hundreds of years. We don't exactly know how long. More than that, you never know. Maybe survived. It just makes you think about it. That's all this is about. This is just my gravy given to y'all to think about it. I mean, because for them to be, you know, they sit back in the woods and they're seeing that, you know, like I said, back in the day, Native Americans respected the land. You can look back at drawings on walls and so forth, and you see some kind of, and they all have a story about the hairy man, the protector of the woods. That's the biggest part, the protector of the woods. I believe, and Princess is joining us there in the background, I believe they see that, though. Do you understand? What I'm trying to put perspective here is that Harry knows the respect you have, they have respect for the land, so the communication was there, to where now they sit back and they see guys with guns and whatnot, and they see people now tearing down what they love so much. So I think that's one of the reasons that people are the way they are about it and think about it. I mean, respect the land. I mean, that's what gets me. If they had that, there's no reason, I'm telling you, the approach I'm going to have when I go out there when this happens, 60. I'm going to be a hobble of shit like that. But I don't care. We'll get that in the last part of the show. Some poop breakdowns I have on it. But that's it, though. I think you go into with the attitude going, oh, Pete in the background there. Go into the attitude with the respect and the land. I don't know. They're just watching, guys. I mean, you know, the thing that they're not, and how smart they are. And also, when I tell you guys, like, wide. Now, that nest thing was wide. The entire nest was not wide. But, like, when I talk about a hairy, and I talk about, you know, 10 feet, and, you know, I always tell you, like, you know, 5, 6 foot wide, that's a shoulder length. Okay, I just want to be more specific on that one, because I don't think I was. Anywho, Expedition Bigfoot. Give a shout out. Once again, it's not on History. It's on Discovery Channel, 9 o'clock on Wednesday nights. Remember, 25-minute show, 35-minute ads. Just pre-warning, guys. Just a pre-warning. That trip line distance is really getting to me, though. I'm still trying to understand why they have those sensors so far north. I'm a head scratcher. I don't know. I just don't get that. Because if you pay attention, if you are watching this, where they're at now, they're south. And that's all the way up north. I don't know. You know, last week I forgot to mention Russell saw through his heat vision camera a figure. It was good size, and he was looking at it a mile away, y'all. And all of a sudden it darted off. And I forgot to include that last week. That was pretty cool, you know, but being a mile away. And once again, Russell, no heart, love the guy to death, man. He gets this nice top. He's like, okay, we're going to stay here, survey, and watch around. No, that didn't happen. He sees something, like, okay, we got to go down there. And also, like I said, we'll get back to that here in a minute. Russell there, I tell you, sometimes I still love them though. Hey, shout out Bryce, Maria, Russell, Pico this year. Rock on. Okay, keep going, keep going. Last week when I was watching that LiDAR and I thought, okay, yeah, there was two figures following them. No, I went back and they kind of like bait the hook for next week, and it's like, come on, guys, I'm gonna watch it anyway. I just want to see. I want to see Harry. Come on, we know he's out there. We know he's out there. And then, I've been mentioning to you guys on the first and second show. That's the first show. That noise. That's the top of your tongue, right? They took that one that Russell picked up. That's what I thought it was. I mean, get out, reach out. I have this set up now, guys. I know everything happened, but now you can go to the top and go over and leave a comment. Let me know. If you know something I don't, please, guys. It's sharing gravy. That's all we're doing here. But the expert said, gave it teeth clattering. Chatted with teeth chattering. And no, man, it wasn't teeth chattering. And then, of course he's getting into, and Bryce, I love Bryce, but for some reason, he's into Harry After Dark. Think about what I just said there, Harry After Dark. At their breeding. Oh, cool. We know they do, but I really wouldn't want to worry about seeing Harry After Dark and worrying about what they're doing. He interviewed a gentleman, and this is another thing, guys. I've talked about when you go somewhere and you get to that 5 years ago, okay, cool. But break it down to where it's more recent. I mean, and the same thing, listen, in any story, same thing. Sometimes people need to get that off of their chest. They want to share it. They want somebody wants to listen and hear. That's what you need to do. You show that respect and that value. Well, that's like he did with this one gentleman. But something happened 5 years ago. Once again, I mean, that's cool. Let's hear the story. But let's not just automatically jump into Harry After Dark. Because he was saying how he heard a deep voice and a different tone voice on one direction, and this one here got closer. And then right away, Bryce jumps into Harry After Dark. Now, hold on, excuse me, guys. Hey, maybe one day we'll see Harry carrying a Pepsi. Hey, you never know. But then he jumped into that Harry After Dark. Now, I've also been taking note the ferns, you guys. It was pretty cool this week. I mean, it's neat. I'm watching stuff and I'm hearing him saying the following week, and I'm like, okay, Jim, you have been learning, and I have been, guys. I love this. Every direction. All three of them, Casper, E.T., and definitely Harry. I was sitting and I was like, I said something about the ferns being high. Well, they went on, Granny's doing this now too. They mentioned that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool because they are, guys. They're every bit of 6 foot tall. If they wanted to, at nighttime, if they're big, because you're not going to, I don't know, at the daytime, if they're there, they're staying hidden. You can't see them. Plain and simple. But the nighttime, when they get them on the heat and we're able to detect them to where they can't during the day, I mean, these days, dude, you could disappear and not be seen. So that's one thing to pay attention. If you do watch this, excuse me, it's really full. It's lush. It's freaking beautiful, guys. I think back to, and if you haven't watched Harry and the Hendersons, guys, I mean, really, you ought to check it out. At the end, when they were standing there and all of a sudden it could just come out of nowhere. Here they could do that. It was like, Okay, and then like I said, Russ, I mean, cool. But I had a flashback, guys. I think it was in Alaska or something. He made a bat boomerang out of logs and stuff to go across the creek. I'm going to tie to a tree and stay above the water to go away across. I was like, he's going to get wet. Yep, he got wet. So this one, free warning if you haven't watched it, you're going to watch it later. We have a whole segment of Russ rappelling. Now listen, it's cool, dude. I know he can do this stuff, man. But I don't need to see a flashback of the creek episode with you rappelling down a mountain. Okay? Show clips, right on. We know you got to. You don't have to prove to us. Let's get to the bottom, and then let's put it back on. Let's edit together where we see that. Which, like I said, no hard. I guess they got to fill the gaps in. Not always out there seeing everything. They're not, no. So, I mean, still a head scratcher. Anyway. Anywho, last week's teaser, if you watched last week's show, she was funny about this stuff. Last week's show, I mentioned the teaser about the handprint. Boom. It happened this week. Boom. And Bryce is great. And like I said, I mean, we had to put ourselves in the predicament. The same thing. And we think about that was us. Okay, you have to learn what you're going to be doing, what you got to manage and calm down because there was excitement. I understand. You would be. At the same time, if I would have saw that on the window, well, I would have stopped. I mean, I know maybe it's easier said than done. Anything. Well, I don't know. Decades. I mean, we're trying to prove something here. I would have been checking the ground. It was funny, Bryce. But y'all, it was massive. It measured, and I said 13 and a half. It was 13. Yeah, I have 8-inch hands. 13, and you guys, it was every bit of, I would say 8 inches wide. It was massive, man. And he pulled a print, which is kind of cool. So we'll see what happens on that and what they say about it. But it was massive, guys. I was impressed. He looked around the ground and the area and stuff like that. And he looked like he saw some area going through the brush. But that was pretty cool. I mean, it was good. I was like, all right. I was like, good deal. Okay. But then I thought about the hand print. Like I said, how big? Y'all, I mean, remember, visualize it. 13 inches out and 8 inches. It was massive. Then here's what I think about. Think about the arm. It goes behind that freaking hand. Think about the shoulder, the body. That's just a perspective. I kind of look at things differently. I'm like, that's the part. I try to visualize everything and then break it down and say, okay, what's that going to look like? Because, I mean, if you got a hand that big, I mean, I'm 6'7". I've changed mine. I realized when I set him on a recliner, I don't look as tall, so I'm in a different chair. But thinking about the size, I mean, that's a massive ass arm. That goes back to that LiDAR. When they saw that in the campsite, Murray and Biko saw that. Man, y'all, I've gone back to watch that. I mean, it looks like a big ass arm just swinging by and coming back, looking up and then going on. And the legs, if you watch it, back and forth, watch it, and focus on one thing at that time. Okay, I'm going to look at the legs this one, like you talked about. They're freaking massive. So, man, I was like, that was pretty, that's what got me right there. At the end of it, they were following it, the sounds and whatnot, and they were getting some rocks thrown on them at the end. Kind of ended with that, in fact, with them rocks, and then hearing they heard that same howl they heard, I think it was the first night. It was the first night they were there. And, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. But that was pretty cool. You know, I'm looking forward to next week's show. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. And Russell's, you know, he finally got to the bottom of the mountain. He's not going to see this, but once it for happening, some God-given reason you saw this, it's nothing bad, brother. I just find it humorous. Let's see, the ferns, being the ferns. Yeah, the arms. I said about the arms. Yeah, like I said, I would just be CSI in the prints, the areas, the grounds, seeing if there's anything that's standing out. And in that cabin. Yeah, I forgot about that. Russ was in a hunting cabin. Yeah, they found a hunting cabin. That's how they ended up. That's right. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I mean, that goes back to, when was it, last year, I think? They got stuck, guys. They crossed when the water was down. And then when the tide came back up, he didn't get off the island in time. Instead of staying in a cabin. And apparently, Harry knocked out the board. But we'll get to that episode sometimes because I have some things about that one. I was like, huh. Anyway, but like I said, that was last week's show. So, hey, all right, Expedition Bigfoot, getting there. We're getting there. Looking forward to seeing this week. I'll make sure my show gets out on time on Saturday instead of being Sunday. So, hope y'all are doing good. I'm sure a lot of y'all are getting excited about NASCAR being back. So, last week, okay, we talked about Florida. I was like, huh. And going on this, it's been kind of cool going to these states, guys. Because I pull out my big atlas, big wheels. I pulled out a kind of geography now, breaking down the states. And I'm looking at them before I'm going and doing my research, try to see if I'm learning. I'm doing pretty good. I was like, okay. And on the flip side, when I do want to do this by the time I'm 60, I figure if I do 8 states a year, and because he had to be 30 to 45 days. But anywho, let's see. Well, I did this was hold on, think about Georgia. Okay, Georgia has 142 reported sightings. I remember, I think Florida was 240, something like that. I think it was 240, and that's in Georgia. And I started thinking, I started looking at things, looking at close. I mean, there's nothing down low. It's more to the top of it, the northern part. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, the northern part of that starts at Appalachian Mountains. That's gonna be cool, guys. The Appalachian Mountains. That's one place I don't know if I'd go over. A lot of crazy stories. I don't want to get off branch. Like I said, I have my try to keep everything outlined. I'll just go off. But that starts at northern, and they have some signs of they're not really like, what is it, Chattanooga National Forest. But yeah, Appalachian Mountains start there at northern part of Georgia and Alabama, and they go all the way up. I mean, damn, they go all the way to Pennsylvania. I mean, yeah, those are crazy. That's some insane ass stories that come out of there. And I was like, well, okay, that's not. I mean, the last one there was it was fall of 2024. Not that many though. It's like, And that's why I'm going. Like, I'll be able to pick up states I want to go do each year. And I was like, okay, so I went to Alabama. And Alabama only has 101 reports. We talked about those last time. I think it's going to be a little bit more north. They still have them. I'm not taking away anybody's passion like I have. I mean, this is just my gravy. But between those two, I mean, Florida has they're about even. It'll be nice when we move up. Southern Carolina, Northern Carolina. I'll do those. I think I'll do those next week. So throw two in together. Be a little bit easier because until we get to them states where they have a lot going on, and they do. I started thinking about when I'm looking. It's got water access, right? I mean, this is over years of lots of stuff. Water access is important. Local vegetation, berries, deer, elk. So yeah, I mean, Talladega Mountains, there in Alabama. And that's more north. Because I was looking at it, Gladysville Lake. That's big, guys. I was looking before I even got into this. I was like, oh, up here at the top, look at this big ass water mass. And that's the part of Appalachian Mountains, I believe it is. That's Blowhead National Forest, Birmingham. But that lake's massive. And there's a lot of signs around it. I mean, because that's, like I said, the Appalachian Mountains start in the northern tip of Alabama and Georgia. So, and then we know it's going to be there. I've heard something like upper New York. Going up there, Pennsylvania will be interesting to do. Appalachian Mountains, period. You hear some terrifying stuff out of there. That'd be one I wouldn't. I mean, there's some good, scary ass stories out of Appalachian Mountains, guys. I've heard a lot, man. That'd be kind of fun, I guess, to share. We could do that too. I mean, they don't always know it's hairy. I guess do not, if anyone calls your voice out there, don't call back. It might be a lot of time to see you guys. I'll tell you. Yeah, man, the Native Americans, I think, had it down. Respecting the land. That was good. That was Alabama, like I said, and that, guys. We get to South Carolina, North Carolina. But not much there. Not many stories coming out of there. I need to do a little bit more on it. Yeah, but if I was to do it, 10 states, I think, maybe, at the most. 8 to 10 a year. Because you want to go 30 to 45 days. And just a little bit of stuff. Like, my RV would be my home base. I figured 3 people, maybe. One person stays at the home base. Maybe a 10-mile radius. And you could go 5 miles out and camp. You get your home base, and then you have your other perimeter further. I don't know. Work on all that. You want to have, you want to have the cameras. Yeah, man. I'm pretty excited about it. It would be a good thing. The 3 people, I think I do. I got enough friends out there. It'll be kind of fun. Dan, Michigan, man. Auntie, anybody out there? Jared, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got him. Come on, man. You got any stories? Let me know. He's part of MUFON. I can't wait. We get into a little bit of ET talk. I'll give him a shout out. Tell him, hey man, what you got for me? I know you got something for me. You guys, I apologize. This should have been out Saturday. I love Harry, Expedition Bigfoot, all the shows and the documentaries, movies. Watch Harry and the Hendersons if you haven't. Those are boys getting ready for NASCAR. I'm sure you're not watching me right now because you're getting pumped up and ready to see the car make a left turn, another left turn, and another left turn. But hey, you enjoy it. I dig it. I respect that. I'm into my football. Next week we'll see you. Make sure you catch Expedition Bigfoot Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock on Discovery Channel for sure. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, guys, I mean, they're getting better. They're really getting better. But Bryce getting Harry After Dark bit. He's on that Harry After Dark and more frequent with the stuff we need to do, But don't lose that smile, because we all know, I know, hopefully you know, and hopefully in time things grow to where more people in the hairy world, or Bigfoot world, can soak up my gravy, maybe share some of the gravy with me. Because, we all know Harry's out there. We do. And like I said, guys, I'm sorry I didn't get this out yesterday. So have yourself a good day today. Have a blessed week ahead. I'll be back next weekend, and we'll take care of yourselves, okay? Remember, and see being like this, it's right behind me, isn't it? You take care. Keep smiling. Be good to each other. God bless.